Well, new week and new challenges coming up. M3GAN 2.0 is a brand new 2025 film directed by Gerard Johnston, starring Allison Williams. And I have a very complicated relationship with the first M3GAN movie. Back when it first came out, I gave it an 8 out of 10. But rewatching it later that year, I bumped it down to a 4 or 5. And honestly, I rewatched it before seeing this one, and okay, it's fine. I give it a 7 out of 10. It's an okay movie. So, I was a little interested to see where they were going with this sequel. The trailers had it with a much more comedic tone. They're moving away from the horror aspect, so I was a little nervous. But then I remembered that having a horror movie have more comedic sequels or sequels that go off into a completely different genre is nothing new. Terminator 2 was a sci-fi action movie wherein you can argue that the first Terminator is a horror movie. Aliens is very much a sci-fi action movie. The first Alien is a straight up horror movie. Evil Dead, my favorite horror franchise of all time. The first one is a straight up horror movie. Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness pretty much went right into slapstick comedy territory. So having a M3GAN sequel be more of an action comedy, it wasn't anything unexpected from me. So let's go ahead and jump into this review, starting off with the good. And there's quite a bit that I liked here. First of all, Allison Williams, I really enjoyed her here. She was actually one of the big reasons why I wasn't a fan of the first one initially. Both her and Violet McGraw, I'll get to Violet McGraw in a minute, but I didn't really care for the two leads of the first movie, and honestly, they're both given a little more to do. Allison Williams has a good enough emotional arc in this movie, and I thought that she pulled it off really well. Really enjoyed her here. Violet McGraw as well. Like I already said, both her and Allison Williams were already given a little more to do in this movie, so I think that she's much improved from the first one. I really did not care for her in the first one at all because she was just kind of an unbearable brat in a lot of scenes, but I did enjoy her here. I thought that she's got a really good arc throughout the movie as well. M3GAN herself is handled very well in this movie. She is not the villain this time around. She is kind of like Arnold's character in Terminator 2, where she's being programmed to protect these characters. And I actually really enjoyed what they did there. I really enjoyed the physical and vocal performance of the actresses who played M3GAN, because I know one person did the physical, one person did the voice. I thought they both did a really good job, and M3GAN was still a very entertaining, fun character. I really enjoyed M3GAN in the first movie. That was one of the few things that has always been good in that movie for me. Despite me liking the first movie, there's some things that I liked at first that I just don't like now. M3GAN's not one of them. I've always liked M3GAN as a character. The action in this movie is really enjoyable. I enjoy what action we get here, the tonal shift from the first movie to this one. Now, the first movie did have some comedic elements, and that's mainly because it was being marketed towards the TikTok generation. They were marketing it with TikTok dances. And they kind of take that humor tone and they crank it up to 1,000 in this movie. And honestly, I really enjoy how they did that. I just really enjoyed how they went from a horror movie to a sci-fi action comedy. And the humor just really lands for me. There's a lot of humor in this movie that does land for the most part. There was one joke in the movie kind of early on that I legitimately laughed out loud. That's how funny it was. That's about all for the good. On to the bad. And unfortunately, there's still some things that need to be improved here. First of all, the villains of the movie. You got the main villain, the evil robot in this movie named Amelia. I just didn't care for this character. This character was completely devoid of anything that makes it interesting whatsoever. Compared to M3GAN, who's got her own sassy personality, this character's just kind of a robotic killer, I kill you now type. And while, yeah, that's kind of what they did with the T-1000 in Terminator 2, Robert Patrick was still so good in that role that you remember that character. And I'm going to be drawing a lot of comparisons to Terminator 2 because that's what everybody's doing. Yeah, I didn't care for the villain. Then there's a twist villain in the third act. And I'll get to the third act as a whole later on. But yeah, I did not care for the twist villain whatsoever. The plot here is a little convoluted. Like with Terminator 2, it went a little more complex with the plot. This one just does not land. The first one was a straight up horror slasher with some comedic tones, and it was easy to follow. This one, there's like 15 plot twists per second, and I'm like, okay, I cannot keep up here this entire time, and what they're doing here, honestly, it's just too convoluted, and they tried, but almost every plot twist in this movie just does not land whatsoever. Also, there's some side characters in this movie that I start to like, and then they're gone the rest of the movie. And then there's one character in particular who gets skewered like a kebab, and then we see them just fine in the hospital at the end. I'm like, I saw you perish, and you were alive. You traitor. That didn't work for me. The runtime for this movie is a drag. This is over 2 hours long. The first movie was just over an hour and a half long. And honestly, I don't know if it was the fact that I had a headache and I was tired and I was ready to go home by the time the third act started. But the third act drags on. From the moment we get our villain reveal to the moment the movie ends. They keep dragging it and dragging it and dragging it on and on. And I'm like, oh, in the movie, you could have ended it 5 times by now. Honestly, this movie could have been like 20 to 25 minutes shorter. But that's about all for the bad. On some final thoughts, I am shocked how much I enjoyed M3GAN 2.0. I was not expecting to like this as much as I did, but it was a fun little sequel. Maybe we'll get a third one. M3GAN 2.0 is a fun movie. It's not as good as the first one, but if you're a fan of the first one, you'll probably enjoy it a little bit. And I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. So those are my thoughts on M3GAN 2.0. Have you seen this movie? Let me know down in the comments what you thought about it if you have seen it. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.